The following lecture is on the digestive system, and I will be specifically focusing on the process of digestion. The digestive system has three main functions. The first is to break food down into smaller nutrients. It also absorbs nutrients into the bloodstream and eliminates waste from the body. The food we eat is not useful immediately. That's because it is too big. The three main nutrients that are found in food are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. But like I said, these are too big for our body to use, and they must be broken down into smaller pieces. So they start as huge, useless molecules, and they need to be converted into small, useful molecules. Carbohydrates need to be converted into sugars, or broken down into sugars. Proteins need to be broken down into amino acids, and fats need to be broken down into fatty acids. And this process is digestion. Digestion is the breakdown of food into smaller nutrients, and there are two main kinds of digestion: mechanical and chemical. Mechanical digestion is when food is physically broken down by cutting, tearing, and slicing. An example is when you use teeth to chew your food. Chemical digestion is the breaking down of food using chemicals like acids and enzymes. An example would be the process that occurs in the stomach. The digestive system includes many different organs: the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the rectum. And it also includes organs that are considered accessory organs, like the salivary gland, epiglottis, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Digestion starts in the mouth, and both mechanical and chemical digestion occur there. For mechanical digestion, the teeth tear and mash food into smaller pieces, and for chemical, saliva moistens and digests the foods using enzymes. Saliva is produced by the salivary glands. There are three salivary glands that surround the mouth, and they contain enzymes that break down carbohydrates into sugars. When you swallow, the epiglottis directs food down the esophagus. The epiglottis is a small flap that blocks food from entering the trachea. So you can see the trachea is the tube in the front, and the esophagus is the tube in the back, and the epiglottis is a little flap that covers them. Choking is caused when food enters the trachea. Food will then move down into the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach, and circular muscles within the esophagus actually push food downwards. That's a process that's called peristalsis. Digestion will continue in the stomach, and both mechanical and chemical digestion continue here. That should say stomach, not mouth. Mechanical digestion, the stomach will squeeze and churn the food. And chemical digestion, acids and enzymes turn food into liquid form. Food will then enter the small intestine in liquid form. The small intestine finishes chemical digestion and then absorbs the nutrients into the blood. Other organs will help produce enzyme that helps with the chemical digestion. The enzymes that help with chemical digestion in the small intestine are made in three different organs. The small intestine is one of them, but also the liver and the pancreas. The small intestine makes enzymes to digest starch and fats. The liver makes an enzyme called bile to digest fats. And the pancreas makes enzymes to digest starch, proteins, and fats. Again, here are highlighted some of the organs that actually make and produce enzymes to help with the process of digestion. Absorption of nutrients occurs about 3 to 5 hours after eating food in the small intestine is fully digested. The small nutrients can now be absorbed into the bloodstream, so they move from the small intestine into the blood by crossing through the walls of the intestine. The intestine is designed to help with absorption. The small intestine has millions of tiny folds that are called villi, and they make the surface area of the intestine much greater. These villi allow for much greater places, many more places for food to move across the intestine into the blood. The large intestine then takes material that is undigested food and water and has two main jobs. It needs to absorb needed water from the food and package undigested food into waste. The rectum is a short tube right below the intestine. It will compact the waste into solid form. When there's enough waste, the waste is passed from the body through an opening called the anus, and that would be the end of the process of digestion. So again, the digestive system includes the mouth, esophagus, large intestine, rectum, stomach, and small intestine, and accessory sort of helping organs, the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, epiglottis, and the salivary glands. And that will do it for digestion.